My name is Megan Marino, and this is my self-assessment presentation. My name is Megan Marino. I was born in Fort Leavenworth, Kansas, which is an Army base. My dad was in the Army for 25 years, so that's where he was stationed for the majority of my beginning life. After that, when he retired, we moved to Charlotte, North Carolina. I was about 11 years old when that happened. I am currently a junior at App and I'm majoring in risk management and insurance. For a large majority of my life, I have been a horseback rider. I compete quite a lot. The bottom right is actually a picture of me competing with my horse. I do a lot of small shows and a lot of big shows, so that's something that's been a large part of my life. For my Big Five results, on the closed-minded spectrum, was more closed-minded than open-minded, and that I prefer traditional and familiar experiences. I don't necessarily agree with that because I have been known by a lot of people and a lot of my friends to say that I'm very open-minded. I'm not super argumentative. I do have my own opinions, but I'm really open to what other people think, and I love new experiences, so I don't agree with that. For conscientiousness, I scored in the middle of the spectrum, so I'm neither disorganized or organized. And I do agree with this because in my own life, I'm pretty disorganized. My room's messy quite frequently, but when it comes to my school stuff or work stuff, I'm really organized. I know exactly what I need to do. I know where all my stuff is for that. And I tend to be really organized, planning and stuff like that when it comes to school. So I do agree with that. For extroverted, I scored in the middle, so I'm neither particularly social or reserved. I do agree with that because when I first meet people, I tend to be a little more reserved. And then once I meet them, I like to go out with people. I like to go, hang out and stuff like that. And I become much more social. So I do agree with that. For agreeableness, it said that I find it easy to criticize others. And again, I don't agree with that. The only thing that I could see where that would be coming from is at work. I hold my coworkers to a high standard and hold them accountable for things. And so if they do something wrong, I guess I could say that would be easier for me to criticize them just because I hold them to such a high standard. But for the most part, I don't criticize others. I'm pretty open and pretty nice to people. And from what I'm told, I tend to be super relaxed. So I kind of agree with that, kind of don't, depending on the scenario. For negative emotionality, I scored that I tend to become anxious or nervous. This is more true with school. A lot of times with tests and a lot, large assignments, I tend to get anxious and nervous about them. But in my outside of school life, I'm pretty relaxed and reserved. A lot of people say I'm super chill, and I make friends easily because of that. So I do and also don't agree with that as well. Some key experiences and how they relate to my future leadership. Like I said in the beginning, I've been horseback riding for a large majority of my life. Back in high school, I was a summer camp leader for the summer camps that we held. We held about 6 every summer, and I was the lead summer camp leader. And for that, I was responsible for making sure all the kids were doing what they needed to be doing. I was responsible for helping Maura, my boss, to make sure that she had what she needed before the summer camps and that all the kids were accounted for. We had emergency contacts for them, things like that. During the week, I would be a lesson assistant to her, which means if she had large groups of kids or advanced kids and new kids, I would be responsible for helping the new kids while she worked in the lesson with the more advanced children that were riding. And I just helped her if she had large groups. For about a year, I wasn't able to afford lessons, so I actually worked on the farm in exchange for riding time. And that taught me a lot about work ethic, and I think that's where I got a large majority of my work ethic from. Um, I'm a part of the risk management insurance group, Gamma Iota Sigma. I'm an active member and am going to be on the leadership team. So I will be learning a lot about leadership and working with a team. For work, I was qualified for Associate of the Quarter, which is really huge because we have 60 employees, and an Associate of the Quarter is someone who shows leadership, who does what they're supposed to be doing above and beyond. And so for me, using all of my skills like work ethic and working with a team but doing above and beyond what I'm required to do, I think that'll help me in the future because I'm so used to that already that it'll sort of propel me to do better as a future leader. For my development plan, short term, I would like to finish my major in risk management and insurance. I have an internship this summer with ECM Solutions. Um, they're a sorry, they're a insurance agency in Charlotte, and a lot of times they give full-time offers, so I'm hoping that works out for me. I would love to graduate from App State. I'm trying to get summa cum laude. We're going to see how that goes. And I would like to job shadow different positions in the insurance industry, and my internship will help me be able to do that, but I also want to do more. Long term, I want to work for a large bank as a risk manager, and I would like to move out of state or internationally because I'd love to travel. I really want to travel for my job. Some of my strengths is I'm pretty organized when it comes to work. I'm very disciplined, as I showed in my previous slides, and I think that's really going to help me to get to these short-term and long-term goals I have. Some areas for improvement I have are I really want to have more free time. I spend a lot of my time studying and doing things like working, and I really want to make time for myself because I think that's really important. I want to spend more time job shadowing in the insurance industry because I'm not really sure where I want to go within it yet, but I think job shadowing is really important. And then I really want to improve my interview skills. I think they're pretty good where they're at. However, there's always room for improvement, and there's so many things on campus that help you with like your basic interview skills. My favorite class assignment was the manager interview project. I thought it was really cool to learn about the manager that we did from Panera and contrast and compare her to managers that I've had, and to see everybody else in the class how they liked managers and what they didn't like in managers, and how a lot of them were very different. I thought the in-class meetings were super beneficial to my learning because I love online classes, but there's something about being in a classroom setting that really helps me learn, probably because I'm more visual and auditory. But I really enjoyed learning about the different management styles and connecting them to my personal management experiences. And so I thought that this class was pretty cool to see how there are actual scientific different management styles and how I've correlated those with my personal experiences. Thank you.